Hi, my name is Pete Churchill and welcome to my 12-12-12 video. This is number 11 in a series of short videos made by a host of different choir directors. And each week, Project Get Singing will present some free content that you can use as part of your online choir sessions. And they're all completely on the house. Great, so we have a tune and we have words, but that's not where we're going to begin because this little session, warm-up session, is really about groove and establishing some kind of understanding of the rhythmic foundation of everything you sing. And this particular tune has an underlying groove, which if you learn that first, makes sense of everything that you learn after that, lyrics, melody, harmony. And the language of groove is the language of dance. And the thing is, if you sing a tune like this, I Wish I Knew How It Feels to Be Free, this great Billy Taylor tune, lyrics by Dick Dallas. And obviously you probably may know the Nina Simone version of this, but it's a song that is meant to move you. It's meant to make you think, but it's also meant to move you physically. It's a groove tune. Therefore, you have to think about making movement and groove part of your rehearsal process. We're trying to use our eyes as little as possible. Lots of ear work, and really we're trying to use the muscles and the body to kind of internalize everything about the tune, including the lyric. And I believe the childlike way of learning is the best way of learning. And when you learn as a child, you learn sound before meaning. If you learn a language, you want the sound before the meaning, because the sound makes you believable. And if people's image of you contradicts what you're trying to tell them, then unfortunately they'll believe their eyes and not their ears. So we're trying to make this a little more kind of holistic in our approach. So I'm going to start with the drum kit, and the drum kit works on 3 layers. The simplest way is to think of the bass drum as kind of anchored to the dance. And the sound of a bass drum is boom, right? So in a tune like this, you know, we have 4 beats in the bar, and I encourage you to do this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. When you're learning, if you can't be dancing, you know, you have to somehow physicalize and stop counting, you know, just think. So I've now got a bass drum that's going to go boom, 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 boom. So that's the bass drum. You can see it's on boom. If I was moving, boom would go with my left foot if you move left to right. So boom, 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 right? That's how I would start. And then I would put the snare drum in, which is a ga sound. And it's on the backbeat. So I've got boom, ga, boom, 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 ga, ga, boom, ga, boom, 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 ga, boom, ga. That might be the easiest way to do it. Then I'm thinking movement with that. 1, 2, 3, 4. Boom, ga, boom, 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 ga, ga, boom, ga, boom, 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 ga, boom, ga. One more layer. We have 3 layers, and the top layer is the hi-hat. So imagine that we can do that with this sound. Notice you've got to have the right facial expression for groove, right? Can't be benign. So if I try and factor that into my bass drum and snare drum, I can't possibly do and boom at the same time. So I'm going to just kind of fit them in. So I'm going to go boom, gat, boom, boom, boom. Do you see that little Just acknowledge this little subdivision. So if I do it with my hands like this, I'm going goom gat goom 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 gat goom gat goom gat goom 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 gat goom gat. All right, let's all try that. So I'm going to count you in, and I expect you to be moving, and I'm going to play a bit of the groove. Right, 1, 2, 3, 4. Goom gat goom 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 gat goom gat goom gat goom 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 gat 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 gat goom gat goom gat 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 goom goom gat gat goom gat goom goom gat 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 goom gat. You would hope that if we did that with our choirs before we learnt the song, by the time we learn the song, we've got this other thing going on in the room other than us, which is the groove. And we all have to, to paraphrase the expression, march to the beat of the same drummer. We all have to, that's how we start to sound like one, And this is protest music, and this is issues music, and it's important that a choir speaks with one voice, one consensus about the subject matter. And if we're thinking of sound before meaning, if you're together with sound and groove, then this becomes more believable. If we're fragmented in our sound and our phrasing and our groove, then it's not really going to make our singing of the subject matter as convincing. Okay, so we've laid the foundation. We've got this groove in the room. The next thing is that the words of the song have to be learnt by sound, by phonetics. And so we're going to work the words. Now, I know I've written them on the board behind me, but I don't really want you to look, because if you look, then your received pronunciation is going to take over, and you'll bring sound to it that maybe comes from somewhere else, right? And at the moment, we're trying to serve this groove with this lyric. So I'm now going to think of this goom, scat, goom, 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 scat, right? And I'm going to think of the words. I'm going to try and pronounce the words as much as possible that they fit in with the sound of the groove. So that means things are short and percussive. We're singing on the consonant, not the vowel. And the vowel will come as a result of getting our consonants well formed. So the first line, I'll say it, and then I want you to repeat it back, okay? So I'll say it first. Here's my groove. Goom, 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 scat. I wish I knew how. Your turn. I wish I knew how. Notice that the SH, I have to make a decision where to put the end of the word, because the end of the word has to be as well placed as the beginning of the word. I'll do that one more time. 1, 2, 3. I wish I knew how. Your turn. 1, 2, 3. I wish I knew how. Notice that that sh actually happens on the backbeat. I'm going to lengthen now. First 2 lines. I wish I knew how it would feel to be free. I wish I knew how it would feel to be free. Notice how percussive I'm making things. Also, the word feel is now a long note. So the long notes are the exception rather than the rule. Let's look at the second 2 lines. I wish I could break all the chains holding me. And just listen to the sound of the words. 1, 2, 3. I wish I could break all the chains holding me. Okay, so we got SH, wish, and break. These are all backbeat endings, right? All, not all the chains holding me. And notice I'm joining chains and holding together, so it's holding, holding. So that word begins with the end of the previous word. I wish I could break all the chains holding me. Your turn. I wish I could break all the chains holding me. Okay, notice I'm doing not I, because I is a diphthong, ruins the groove. I wish I knew how it would. Notice that it has no T on it. It's just it, and then I close it, but I don't do it. It would. Got it? It would feel to be free. B's and P's are plosives, so you can be very percussive with those. Let's do the first half from the beginning. 1, 2, 3. I wish I knew how it would feel to be free. I wish I could break all the chains holding me. Great, right. Next bit, next 2 lines is I wish, we know about that, I could say, that's fine, all the things that I should say, things that I should say. You notice what I'm trying to do is put it into your mouth, not your brain and not your eyes. So it becomes just an enjoyable set of syllables to chant, you know. So I wish I could say all the things that I should say. 1, 2, 3. I wish I could say all the things that I should say. That I should say. Notice we went goom, ga, goom, goom, goom. This rhythm is there in the lyric all the time. I knew how I could break, I should say. And if we're thinking of the bass drum, goom, 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 then that's going to be the kind of repetitive part of the grooves that gives the song momentum, okay? Right, so we got 3/4 of our first verse, all right? Let's do it from the beginning. 1, 2, 3. I wish I knew how it would feel to be free. I wish I could break all the chains holding me. I wish I could say all the things that I should say. Great. Now we've got the last 2 lines. Say loud, say clear. This rhythm starts to come thick and fast now. We've got say loud with the D on the backbeat. That's 1, 2. Say loud, say clear, for the whole darn world to hear. Those last things are on the beat. For the whole darn world to hear. And we end with our little rhythm again. Let's do from say loud. Here we go. 1, 2. Say loud, say clear, for the whole darn world to hear. That's cool. Let's do the whole thing. I wish I knew how. Notice how long I'm spending on the words and the rhythm, no melody. That's because these are the most important things. The melody will come from the groove, okay? Here we go. I wish I knew how. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. I wish I knew how it would feel to be free. I wish I could break all the chains holding me. I wish I could say all the things that I should say. Say loud, say clear, for the whole darn world to hear. Okay, so now we're going to do it again, and I'm going to play the accompaniment, but you're not going to sing a melody. You're going to still be chanting, okay? And so we're just layering things in the right way. So I wish I knew how. I'll count you in. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. I wish I knew how it would feel to be free. I wish I could break all the chains holding me. I wish I could say all the things that I should say. Say 'em loud, say 'em clear, for the whole darn world to hear. Okay, so now we're starting to feel the urge to sing a melody, you know, and one of the things I like in rehearsal is to deny people the pleasure of singing what they want to sing for as long as possible, so that when you get to sing something in its entirety, you know, you have the intent, the expectation and the reward of singing it, you know. So the danger is that rehearsals, when you should be singing, they become sing-alongs rather than singing sessions, you know. And we're in a, as I say this a lot, we're in a sing-along culture where people sing along with music. They don't sing it. They wait for other people to do it and then they sing along. You know, the difference is you're in a choir. You should be the first port of call, you know. This is where the music happens. And if other people want to sing along to you, that's fine, but you can't be singing along when you sing. And what you're trying to do is make the version you're singing your version, not a cover of something else, you know. The concept of singing a cover of somebody else's version means that it's a very kind of passive approach to music. It's not active. So all these incremental things we're doing, which is like owning the groove, you know, then chant, and then the clapping, and then the chanting. I wish. This is all about owning the song, passing ownership to you, so that when you inhabit it, you don't feel like you're singing somebody else's version. You're singing your own version. And why would you want to be a second-rate somebody else when you can be a first-rate you? That's the big question, isn't it? Right. So we have a few more minutes. I'm going to teach you the tune. The tune is very repetitive. The tune is never the problem. The groove is always the problem, and we're solving that problem. So we're just going to do it in unison because this isn't about harmony. I shall sing the first line. I wish I knew how it would feel to be free. Your turn. 1, 2, 3. I wish I knew how it would feel to be free. Notice we're going, it would. These are kind of really, really percussive, like a drum. Goom, ga, right? It would feel to be free. One more time. I wish I knew how. 1, 2, 3. I wish I knew how it would feel to be free. And as with a lot of great groove songs, this motif, I wish, is always there, but it changes. Next line is, I wish I could break. I could break. Let's try that. 1, 2, 3. I wish I could break. Cool. And then you go, all the chains holding me. All the chains holding me. Let's put that together. I wish I could break. 1, 2, 3. I wish I could break all the chains holding me. One more time. 1, 2, 3. I wish I could break all the chains holding me. Great. Let's put both those together. I wish I knew how. Then I wish I could break. 1, 2, 3. I wish I knew how it would feel to be free. I wish I could break all the chains holding me. Okay, then the third line is the same as the first. I wish I could say all the things that I should say. That's the only difference. That I should say. We got a little extra syllable, that, in there. Let's do that. I wish I could say. 1, 2, 3. I wish I could say all the things that I should say. Great. Let's do the first 3 lines. I wish I knew how. 1, 2, 3. I wish I knew how it would feel to be free. I wish finally, we have this little extra melody. Say loud, say clear. Let's do that. 1, 2. Say loud, say clear. And finally, for the whole darn world to hear. For the whole darn world to hear. Let's do say loud. 1, 2. Say loud, say clear. For the whole darn world to hear. Right, we should do it all the way through. Here's your intro. Don't forget, a groove is the most important thing. I wish I knew how it would feel to be free. I wish I could break all the chains holding me. I wish I could say all the things that I should say. Say loud, say clear, for the whole darn world to hear. Well done. This is not about this song, this is about a process. You know, we've done the right thing by this song, I think, by learning it from the groove, through the text, which is the message, melody last of all, and harmony would come next. But try and remember the process, and that vocalizing the groove in any way and moving as a way of preparing yourself to sing a song means that you're all starting from a consensus, a rhythmic consensus, which is how music gets very powerful and how message music really communicates. So, thanks for watching, and you can visit www.mdbrunch.uk for more details about the content of this video and others. And you can also find out more about the MD Swap program, which is another great way to invigorate your online choir sessions. So stay in touch and follow them on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram via @ProjGetSinging. And remember, we can change the world one voice at a time.